Welcome to BarbWire Strategy. I'm Colonel Jim Ed Love, and I'm back from a very long sabbatical. This is the first show I've done since, I think it was back in February. I did a show to memorialize the passing of Rush Limbaugh. After that show that I did, right after the show, we experienced an interruption to our lives, and that is that a lot of you in Texas know that freeze that happened back in February.
Well, the coldest of the cold, yeah. There's no doubt about that. It won't be as cold. We hit 2 below this morning. That's the second coldest temperature ever recorded in Dallas-Fort Worth. But now we have another major winter storm moving in our direction. Widespread 1 to 3 inches with higher amounts northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Ice amounts a glaze to a tenth. Higher amounts in ice to the south.
And what happened there was that it froze, and I woke up that morning and I heard water running. And normally if I hear water running, it's the shower or the washing machine. Even though my bedroom chamber is on the other side of the house, I can hear it running through the pipes. But this time I heard the water running, and I looked over and my wife was asleep, and I went in and checked. The kids were asleep, checked the washing machine, and there was nothing in the washer. And the dishwasher running doesn't make the same noise that in the pipe system that the shower and the washing machine does. And then when I got into the library, I realized the sound, a waterfall sound, was coming from my wood shop, which is also our garage. But nonetheless, it was coming in the wood shop. And immediately I thought, oh my gosh, I know what's happened. There's a pipe that's above our garage. It runs from the interior of our attic up into the garage, and this one pipe feeds a outside outlet where you hook up a water hose to the outside. It runs down the wall, and I had repaired this pipe a few years before, back in about 2017, and I thought it was okay, and I'd worried about this freeze because it had been going on for 4 days there. And I thought, okay, well, if it hadn't frozen busted yet, then we don't have anything to worry about. But turned out that wasn't the case. It actually separated is what happened. It didn't just bust. Where I'll show you in the film, where it comes together, it's separated. And so the water was just pouring out like Niagara Falls. It was just going all over the equipment, all over the saws. It was wreaking all kinds of havoc. Of course, the ceiling had collapsed in. Okay, here's the damage. Pipes burst. What a mess. What a mess. I'm not really worried about the mess. Mainly, I just need to get the pipes fixed so we can turn the water back on. I just now turned it off. The pipe burst right here in this black pipe right here that was insulated. I insulated that and it burst. So there's damage. To make things worse, Rush Limbaugh died today, very sadly. It's going to be a true paradigm shift to our lives. As you can see, it's still snow on the ground out here. It's been frozen now for like 4 days. Yeah. Oh well, life continues.
for some of us. I'm sure Rush Limbaugh would trade places with me in a heartbeat.
Anyway, it was a disaster, which leads me to explain what the next 5 films are going to be about. The next 5 films are going to be about the damage and the repair that I put together for our wood shop. And it has taken me, 6 months to completely renovate and repaint and do the wood shop the way I want it to be done. I put in a special ceiling, and specifically on these videos, I thought it'd be of interest to people to see what kind of ceiling I put in and how I put it in and why I chose it. And I think it ended up being I'm not happy that we had the water disaster that we had, but I am happy about the results of my renovations on my wood shop. I'm also going to cover a little bit about why I built the wood shop and how I put it together, so that one of the films will be on that. In fact, the next 5 films will be of the following. The steps that I took place over the course of 6 months is I had to plug up the pipe, clean up the mess, fix the plumbing entirely, redeck the entire attic, or rather the part of the attic that I used, and prepare the ceiling, add more bracing for the metal panels that I put in. I wanted to add insulation, and I'll explain how I did that. I picked out the type of ceiling and why I picked it out, and where I purchased it from and how much it costs. I'll cover all of that. And buying the metal panels, and then installing the metal panels. I'll cover all of that in detail. And then deal with the prevailing problems such as the garage door fasteners, the lighting, and the trap door that goes into the attic. So all those had to be worked with whenever I was putting the paneling up. And then also installing new lighting, painting the garage, picking out a palette, painting the walls, painting the trim, painting the doors. And finally painting the garage door, installing insulation in the garage door, and logistically setting up my wood shop. So the next 5 films I plan to cover are the topic. This film, which is just to basically outline everything that I'm going to do on this topic and why I did it, and to welcome you back to my channel. The second film will be on creating a wood shop from 2006 to 2021. This will explain why I set the shop up, what its purpose was, and how I set it up. And then my third film will be on installing the metal ceiling in my wood shop. My fourth film will be lighting and painting my wood shop. And then the fifth will be a tour of the finished wood shop, so you can see how I set up the different workstations and what stations are simply mobile on wheels. So overall, I just want these first 5 films, we're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about history. We're not going to talk about anything else. We're not going to take any phone calls from, I don't take phone calls from the so-called president now, but we won't be taking any phone calls from anybody. These first 5 films are how-to on my wood shop, and most specifically on the ceiling that I put in, because I was very pleased with it. As far as why I haven't done any films since February, and I'm sure some of you who watch my show thought, well, I either died or gave up or quit or whatever. I have to admit, it over the time span that I've done this BarbWire strategy film channel, I have become more and more dismayed. Now, part of it, my dismay was over the election, the false results of the election and the false president we have. And I was very, very unhappy about I was more unhappy, and I know I'm getting into politics, but I just want to explain this. I was more unhappy with the fact that the Republican Party didn't do squat about the election. They didn't. Basically, all they did is they started fundraising for the midterm elections coming up in 2022. I abhor that. This is what I hate about the Republican Party. But again, I don't want to get too deep into the politics, because this is a film about how to repair your garage, your shop. But mainly, I just want to explain why I haven't done any films in 6 months. And so I was a bit dismayed over that. I have to admit, YouTube taking, I think, 5 of my films down that I had worked extremely hard on because they didn't agree with my political opinions and I was canceled. I didn't just take offense to it. It kind of wore me down. Even though I put all of this stuff on BitChute. Now remember, you can see all of this on BitChute, even the ones that YouTube took down. But it did wear me down some. And then Rush Limbaugh dying, I don't know, it really did something to me. Rush Limbaugh dying, it kind of took a little bit of the air out of my balloon. And then, of course, the ice storm, and my wood shop collapsed, and I had to fix it. And every time I told the guys is when we smoked cigars out on the porch every evening, like my buddy Chris has asked me several times, are you gonna do any more films? Well, yes. And the thought has occurred to me many times to come in and sit down and do a film mainly on politics, because that's I love politics more than anything else. But I have thought about coming in and doing that. But every time I think about doing a film, I think, well, you know what? I could be spending that time repairing my wood shop. And I thought, the responsible thing to do, as much as I want to do a film and put it up on YouTube and BitChute, is to go ahead and contribute that time to my wood shop and get it fixed, which is what I would encourage anybody to do in my position. Put your fun things aside, not always and forever, but for the most part, and get done the things that need to get done when they need to be accomplished. So, without any more fanfare about what happened, this is mainly why it's been 6 months. But I'm back in the saddle now because my wood shop is complete. I've got a lot of projects. And in fact, let me say briefly, over the next, I don't know. Oh, by the way, this is season 3. This is season 3. So welcome to season 3 of BarbWire Strategy. Season 2 didn't have that many episodes in it, but season 3 hopefully will have a lot of episodes. I do plan to do future films, but I'm going to concentrate a lot on woodshop stuff, projects, and something else, my palace, the Palace of Alexandria. I'll explain what the Palace of Alexandria is in the coming film, but I thought it would be a good idea to do some of the projects. I've got a whole bunch of projects lined up, and I thought it'd be fun to film them and explain what I'm doing, and maybe it'll be of some help to those of you out there that have wood shops or you want to build a wood shop of your own and take on some projects. I still plan to do a overview of tarot. I like the historical aspects of tarot that date back to the Renaissance and the massive amount of history that follows in that. So I'd like to do some films on that. I still like to do some films on games. I think it'd be fun. But all in all, my true love, as you know, is politics. And so I really do feel like I've come alive when I talk about politics. Unfortunately, when I do politics, then I get YouTube wanting to cancel me out. So it's a constant battle. But don't forget, I always do these things on BitChute, and so you can catch me there. And it's untaken. It's not taken down. It's not done anything. You can see the whole thing. So until the next time, at least for the next 4 films, we're not going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about woodshop stuff and the Palace of Alexandria. So look forward to that in the next 4 films. We'll see you next time. BarbWire Strategy. Good night.